Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. The Greensboro City Council voted to appoint Nathaniel Trey Davis as the new city manager. He succeeds interim city manager Chris Wilson, who resumes his role as deputy city manager. Previously, Mr. Davis served as assistant city manager since 2019. In this capacity, he has been integral to public safety, infrastructure, and economic development. Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn said following a national search, the City Council selected Mr. Davis due to his years of service to the community and extensive experience in public safety, which is a primary focus of Council. Davis joined the Greensboro Police Department as a patrol officer in 2002. Throughout his tenure, Davis advanced in rank and served in various leadership roles. City Manager Davis said, "I am honored by the level of confidence the City Council has shown in my leadership ability. Greensboro offers an exceptional quality of life, and I look forward to working with our leadership and employees as we prepare for the city's continued growth." Davis earned a bachelor and master's degree from Liberty University. The Greensboro Human Rights Commission will host Assistant Police Chief Stephanie Martis as the featured speaker. The public is encouraged to attend the Thursday, November 7th Zoom meeting beginning at 6 p.m. In this installment of the Commission's Let's Talk series, Martis will address community violence and its prevention and how residents can safeguard against it. Martis joined the Greensboro Police Department in 2002 and soon after was named Rookie of the Year. She has served in numerous leadership roles over the past 2 decades, including her promotion to captain in 2019 and assistant chief last year. Martis oversees the Support Bureau, which includes the Operational Support Division and the Information and Analysis Division. For more information about the Human Rights Commission, visit the city's website or contact Commission's Administrator Liz Lennon at 336-373-2038. The manager of the Office of Community Safety has garnered national recognition. Letitia McNeil recently graduated from the University of Chicago's Community Violence Intervention Leadership Academy. She was honored to be one of 31 individuals selected from across the country to participate in this unique program. The Academy's purpose is to provide senior community violence intervention leaders with 5 months of hands-on education. The goal is to achieve 2 interconnected goals: reducing gun violence and scaling the community violence intervention field. The Academy supports participants in achieving these goals by strengthening their leadership and management skills, expanding their networks, and supporting them in their efforts to elevate and advocate for community violence intervention. Additionally, McNeil had the privilege of being invited to the White House 3 weeks ago to observe the signing of an executive order focused on violence prevention. Back in August, McNeil made a presentation at the Department of Justice after being invited to the White House Office of Violence Prevention. Cone Health has partnered with the city to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's News for Your Health.
Addiction is a disease that affects your ability to make healthy, rational decisions. And it's one of the primary health concerns of our time. Let's talk about it. What is addiction? Addiction is a complicated issue. Addiction can look like a lot of different things, but primarily we associate addiction with the loss of control over a certain substance, alcohol, drugs, or a certain behavior too. It's really important to understand that addiction impacts your brain. On a fundamental level, addiction essentially rewires your brain to where you become dependent on the drug or drink or the behavior, and you start to associate that with survival, which is why you often see people make really irrational decisions and do things that they would never do if they weren't addicted. Anyone can be at risk for addiction. It doesn't matter your race, your age, your gender, your socioeconomic status, your level of intelligence. So what are some of the signs that you're dealing with an addiction? One of the ways that you can tell is by asking yourself 4 simple questions. Have you ever felt like you need to cut down on your drinking? Have you ever felt like you were annoyed when someone criticized you about how much you're drinking or drugging? Have you ever felt guilty about how much you're drinking or drugging? And finally, have you ever had a drink or drug early in the morning, what I call an eye-opener, something to kind of get your day started? If you answered yes to 2 or more of these questions, you may be struggling with an addiction. So what are the signs you can look for in someone else who you think might be struggling with an addiction? One of the key signs is isolation. If you find that a loved one is continually getting further and further isolated and leaving you out, leaving you in the dark, not letting you know about what they're up to, if they're also giving up on activities or interests that they used to have, reducing their level of activity. Another sign is if they're drinking or drugging more than they plan to. If someone tells you, I'm gonna have 2 or 3 drinks tonight, and it ends up being 4, 5, or 6, and then the next day it's the same thing, that's a sign that your tolerance is increasing and you might be struggling with addiction. With cancer, diabetes, heart disease, it's very common to get a family history and to tell your doctor everything you know about what your family struggled with. And for some reason, addiction's considered different, but it shouldn't be. Addiction is just like those other diseases in that if we know that a family member, typically going back 2 generations, if we know that they struggled with addiction, that can be a big indicator and a big help for a counselor who's assessing for addiction. So how do you talk about addiction with a family member? That's a really touchy subject. One important thing to know is talk about it when they're sober. Talk about it when they're not using. Talk about addiction in behavioral terms. Talk about things that you've noticed change in their behavior, in their level of activity, in their consequences of their life. Keeping things simple, plain, and understandable is the biggest way to help your loved one. So what do you do when people deny that they have an addiction? Oftentimes this is when professional help is necessary. Making an appointment with a counselor, a family counselor, a substance abuse counselor. We live in such an exciting time for addiction treatment. There are so many options for what to do. Yes, there's the classic inpatient 28-day rehab facility. There's also 12-step meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. A lot of these are really familiar, but there's new and exciting treatments as well. So here at Cone, we have an IOP, that's an intensive outpatient program. It's primarily group counseling. And group counseling is shown to be the most effective form of substance abuse counseling because it gets at that isolation piece. It helps people feel more understood. Another way you can treat addiction is by talking with your primary care physician about medications for cravings. Right now we have exciting medications that are very safe and well studied that can help people tolerate and deal with those triggers and those cravings that happen in early recovery. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this information has been helpful in learning about addictions. If you want to learn more, go to conehealth.com/behavioral health. Thanks again. I'm Wes Swan.
The city is partnering with North Carolina A&T State University to increase multimodal transportation options in Greensboro. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Greensboro Department of Transportation has installed bike lanes on Lindsay Street. You will notice the lanes between Murrow Boulevard and Bessemer Avenue. This is a pilot program designed to add more bike lanes citywide. The project, in collaboration with North Carolina A&T State University, reduces the 4 and 5 lane sections on Lindsay down to 3 lanes. The new configuration will remain in place until next spring when city roads are scheduled to be resurfaced. If the project is successful, permanent bike lanes will be added next year. Hannah Cockburn, director of the Greensboro Transportation Department, said adding a variety of transportation options such as new bicycle lanes is an important step in creating a safer, more accessible street for all road users. This also supports multimodal transportation. The pilot program supports the GSO 2040 Comprehensive Plan goals of becoming car optional, prioritizing sustainability, and building community connections. To learn more about the project and to access feedback surveys, visit gsostreets.com. The Greensboro Parks Foundation will host its 2024 golf tournament at the historic Gillespie Golf Course on Wednesday, October 16th. This is designed to raise awareness and funding for the course's ongoing revitalization and improvements. The tournament features a range of activities. Player spots are sold out, but there is a wait list. Since opening in 1941, Gillespie Golf Course has served as a recreation destination and holds a significant place in Greensboro's civil rights history. In 1955, Dr. George Simpkins and 5 other black men challenged the course's whites-only policy, which set the stage for integration and inclusion in Greensboro's recreational spaces. With funding from this year's tournament, the foundation will cover the cost of course renovations designed to enhance accessibility and upgrades to the driving range and infrastructure. Sponsors include the Greensboro Sports Foundation, Cone Health, Nancy and Frank Brenner, and God's Way Landscaping and Tree Removal. For more information about the Greensboro Parks Foundation, visit the group's website. For more information on the Gillespie Golf Course, visit the city's website. In response to Hurricane Helene, there are several ways for the community to assist our neighbors in western North Carolina. The American Red Cross is accepting monetary donations, blood donations, and volunteers. Instructions for how to make a donation are available on the agency's website. The North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund is accepting donations to help with the unmet needs of hurricane victims. Contributions can be made online through a secure link. You can also mail a check to the North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund at 20312 Mail Service Center in Raleigh, 27699. Samaritan's Purse is accepting monetary donations and volunteers. The agency is assisting victims in multiple states impacted by Hurricane Helene. If you are the victim of price gouging, you can file a complaint. The price gouging law went into effect after Governor Roy Cooper declared a state of emergency. To report an incident of price gouging, visit the website for the North Carolina Department of Justice. Supporters of domestic violence victims will paint the town purple throughout this month. The Human Rights Department is hosting a series of events to raise awareness. Coming up after the break, find out how you can do your part to help someone who may be suffering in silence. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The Commission on the Status of Women will host a series of free community events this month to commemorate Domestic Violence Awareness. Joining me now to give us a preview of the events is Dr. Love Jones. She is the Director of the Human Rights Department. Hello, Dr. Jones. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Carla.
Always good to see you. Now, the Commission on the Status of Women hosts a series of events throughout the year. Why focus on domestic violence?
For the Commission on the Status of Women, one of the things that's really important is to uplift the experiences of women. Mm-hmm. Those are both positive and negative. Bottom line is that they want to be able to raise awareness about the experiences of women who have navigated domestic violence or may very well still be in the space of abuse, and uplift the experience but also education and awareness so that people can be clear about the signs, as well as what to do in order to escape the situation, the resources that are available. And so because of the fact that domestic violence is disproportionately recognized as something that impacts women, though we know that domestic violence impacts all people, the Commission on the Status of Women definitely takes it to heart to allow that to be one of their focus areas.
Fantastic. And this is an opportunity for the entire community to play a role, to take a part, to pay attention, and as you said, be educated. So that brings us to the purple tree lighting.
Yes.
It is a purpose for that, and it is significant. So tell us, how does that work?
So the symbolism of the purple tree lighting is to raise awareness of the issue of domestic violence as a whole, but also commemorate the lives lost to domestic violence, and then also celebrate those who have been able to escape domestic violence. And the purple tree lighting is a visual representation that allows people in the community to pass by our city building and not only understand the importance of the occasion or of the month, but also seeing that the city organization supports a body that recognizes the importance of lifting that issue up for the community.
Fantastic, and it's a really nice ceremony. It's an official type of program. People can come out and observe, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And how has the celebration in general changed over time?
So historically, there was one event hosted by the Commission on the Status of Women, and it was much more ceremonious. But over time, there was an understanding that there needed to be different access points for the information for some people who are able to be there in person for some of the events and for the actual information sharing. That's wonderful. But then there are people who have work schedules and other life commitments that don't always allow them to be present. And so the Commission on the Status of Women committed themselves to thinking through a series of events that would allow different access points for members of the community.
Nice, nice. And then speaking of events, you have a whole host of things taking place throughout this month.
Indeed.
So kind of give us a roadmap so we can pinpoint and mark our calendars.
Absolutely. So starting on Tuesday, October 8th, we'll have a lunch and learn in front of City Hall. And that'll be an opportunity for people to gather and recognize the importance of the month at the top of the month, of course. And then moving towards the middle of the month on Tuesday, October 15th, there will be an online presentation, Things That You Should Know. And this is where there will be more specific information sharing about signs, but also how to provide support and resources. The 15th is actually the day that the trees will be illuminated out in front of the municipal building.
Fantastic.
And then on Thursday, October 24th, there will be a solidarity walk, and that will allow the acknowledgement of domestic violence survivors and victims, and people will be welcome to wear purple and walk the block of City Hall just as a symbolic gesture to show that, one, we recognize that there are people who are still in the struggle. We realize that there are people who have overcome, and we definitely want to commemorate those who have lost their lives and remember the hearts of the loved ones left behind.
Yeah.
And so that solidarity walk will actually wrap up the Go Purple series on behalf of the Commission on the Status of Women.
And the solidarity walks, we do quite a few of those for different reasons throughout the year, and it's really nice when it happens. You have your curated group who are invited and
Indeed.
who are part of a cause, but then people just walking along join in when they realize what's happening and they want to be part and offer up that support. So
absolutely, it becomes its own education point. Even though it's a moment of solidarity, even though it's symbolic in nature, it also piques curiosity.
Yes.
And so with passersby, they ask the question, why are you all together and why are you walking and what is this in support of? And it actually creates a space for people to have dialogue even in the moment about the importance of domestic violence awareness. So that's another benefit of doing the Solidarity Walk for sure.
Well, this is wonderful. We commemorate this every year. We want to lift up and recognize the work of the Commission on the Status of Women. Violence is never a thing that we want anyone to experience. Exiting is always the most dangerous time for a victim, so we want folks to know that we are here for them, the community stands with them, and we appreciate your department, Human Rights, for raising all of this awareness and keeping us all involved.
Well, we count it a privilege to contribute to such a noteworthy cause, and we're very thankful to all of the community partners who contribute to the month overall. So we're glad to be a part of something that's so important.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jones. Come back and let us know about your other programs.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for some interesting and useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That segment is coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact you and our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. The City Council meetings take place in the Katie Dorsett Council Chamber on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. The public is allowed in person, but only in a limited capacity. Those who choose not to be in the building can participate virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Fall is in the air and the colorful array of leaves are beginning to blanket the ground. Be sure to follow the city's new yard waste collection rules. Use the 95-gallon gray cart to collect your fall yard waste and leaves. Additional leaves can be collected in paper yard waste bags. Bundle branches and sticks with natural twine. Up to 10 bags or bundles will be collected from the curb each week throughout the year. From November to February, crews will collect up to 15 paper bags or bundles of yard waste from the curb. You can also leave the leaves on the ground. Leaves provide habitats for many different species. Last but not least, you can compost or mulch your leaves. Call the contact center to purchase an additional 95-gallon gray cart for $65. Avoid placing leaves on the curb, right-of-way, or in the street. Burning yard waste, including leaves, is not permitted within Greensboro city limits. This includes the use of fire pits. Download the GSO Collects app to receive a personalized collection schedule so you never miss your collection day. For more information, visit the city's website. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, prepare to mark your calendars for the places to go and things to do on the town.
I'm Dave, and here's some special events happening this week on the town. Music legend Stevie Wonder holds the Sing Your Song as We Fix Our Nation's Broken Heart concert October 17th at the First Horizon Coliseum. The 25-time Grammy Award winner seeks to restore joy over anger, kindness over recrimination, and peace over war with this special event. Find tickets online at gsocomplex.com. Kids won't want to miss the newest Paw Patrol live show October 19th and 20th at the Tanger Center. The interactive live stage performance features stunning visuals and a vibrant musical score. Learn more about this fun family event and get tickets online at tangercenter.com. Head out to Lake Brant October 19th for the second annual Great Trails State Day. Take part in a guided hike, test out a kayak or mountain bike, or sample food and drink from a food truck on site. Register for the hikes and get more information from the city's website at greensboro-nc.gov. The 2024 Aggie Homecoming Concert is October 19th at the First Horizon Coliseum. The concert highlights the 25th anniversary of North Carolina A&T State University's greatest homecoming on earth. Scheduled performers include Bryson Tiller, Lotto, Bossman D-Lo, Mariah the Scientist, and Rob 49. Find tickets online at gsocomplex.com. Stay tuned to FYI Weekly for more happenings on the town.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents, and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. Creative Greensboro welcomes fashion designer Sasha Woods as the new artist in residence at GROW, the Greensboro Residency for Original Works. The series, titled The Art of Fashion Project, is open today through November 4th. Ms. Woods and a team of collaborators will lead workshops in modeling, content creation, fashion design, photography, and entrepreneurship within the fashion industry. Outside of the workshop series, Ms. Woods will offer open studio sessions where aspiring fashion artists and content creators can work on their designs or create digital content. The Make and Take events will allow participants to make their own statement accessory pieces from upcycled materials. Woods is a self-taught accessory designer based in Greensboro and is known for creating unique handmade accessories displaying a bold editorial style. Woods is also a certified nursing assistant and licensed phlebotomist. To learn more about the Grow residency, visit the Creative Greensboro website. Coming up after the break is our Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the City of Greensboro. The city is ranked 4th in the nation as one of the best cities to drive in, according to a recent Wallet Hub study evaluating 100 of the largest U.S. cities. Wallet Hub indicates most Americans rely on cars to get around, as 87% of daily trips take place in personal vehicles, according to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. While driving offers a more private and comfortable commute, it is often a major hassle and expense. This study examined a variety of criteria, including traffic congestion, safety, road quality, and infrastructure accessibility. Way to go, GSO. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM, 100.7 FM, and 90.5 FM. Be sure to download both weekly podcasts, Talk City Greensboro and Talk City in Espanol. Plus, GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.